Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. Guys, listen, I have to apologize for last week. I didn't get a chance to record a Car Confessions because, there was just so much going on that day. I had an audition, the weather was crazy that day. All that to say, guys, please forgive me. But here I am, I'm back. I'm actually recording earlier than what I normally record because this is Christmas Eve and then Wednesday is Christmas. And so, I gotta do what I gotta do. It is what it is. But, how are y'all doing? What's going on? How are things in your world? What's happening? Me, I am on holiday break. Thank God. I just needed a break. I love my job. I love my job. I love the people I work with. Um, I love the kids. But sometimes you just need a break. And today was definitely one of those days. I needed that break. Or not days. This is the time. I needed the break. Thank God, right? Running around here getting last minute things for the holiday. We actually did really well. So yesterday we went shopping. We got all of the things that we needed. Then we're like, oh my gosh, we missed a few things. And so literally a few. I only needed to buy 3 other things. Only had to go to 2 different stores. And that's major. That's major for someone like myself. Because normally it would be 20 million stores and, 5 hours later, seriously, I'd have what I needed. But no, didn't go like that. It actually went way better than that. And I'm grateful because, yeah. Guys, here's another thing. Holiday driving. It's one thing to already be driving in New York. And here's the thing. I'm also up what they consider like in Westchester, which is upstate, which is really not that far from the city. But for people who live in the city, it's a whole other world. And even up here, y'all, people are still driving just insane. I think it's just a New York thing. It's like survival of the fittest. It's like, listen, get in wherever you fit in. If not, oh well. I don't know what to tell you. It's literally like that. So yeah, I'm just like coasting here, finishing up all of my, like I said, shopping and everything. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I need to just stay in this lane clearly because all the shops are really on this side, and everyone keeps turning to go to the shops. But yeah, guys, I'm really happy that I've gotten the majority of my shopping done, and I'm on my way back home to start cooking and prepping for, tonight we celebrate Christmas Eve together. So this is the thing. I've been celebrating Christmas Eve this is the second year where it's just my wife and my daughter, and it's just us 3. And it's been great. And I even talked about this on the most recent episode of the podcast. This whole transition, like, of how I'm used to celebrating with friends and family has been good and at the same time very strange and weird and lonely. Even though I have my daughter and my wife, I'm just so used to so many people being around. And I shouldn't say lonely. Lonely is not the right word. It's just different. And so it's kind of like a mourning. There it is. More like a mourning situation. It's just like, oh, what I'm used to, experiencing with the holidays, this is not it. But what I'm used to experiencing sometimes, and not all the times, y'all, my hair's going crazy. Listen, let it happen. Anyway, but what I'm used to experiencing, sometimes that ends in some craziness, right? Family craziness, whatever. And I've been really being as mindful as possible with how I spend my time and who I spend my time with. And that's not a diss. People don't even say diss anymore. But anyway, the point of it is, it's not like anything like that. Like, oh, I don't like these people anymore, off with their heads or, just know my energy and I know what I need. And it's not that. I still need the drama. And yes, do I hang around people sometimes that don't match my energy? Of course. Let's be serious. You got to be out here in the world. But, a lot of times if I'm doing that in support of someone, or I'm at work, or, just happen to be out somewhere and you're dealing with the nonsense of people. It is what it is, right? But my intentional way of like dealing with things now and especially when I'm off work and it's my time, I'm not doing it. I mean, like I said, sometimes you get caught up. It is what it is. But if I'm really, taking the time to say, yeah, no, I'm taking the time to say, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Because here's the thing, like, as much as we want to have like these perfect holiday experiences, sometimes that's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. And I wish we had, a perfect scenario every time, right? Because here's the thing, like, not everyone, as you hear me talking, not everyone's holiday experience is always joyful and everything you see on TV. And I think that's another thing too, is that people, or myself included, like, we have put ourselves in the position of thinking that our holiday experience must look and be just like what we see on TV. And when we don't experience that, that causes a lot of, anxiety and stress and drama and things that really don't serve us in the end, in my opinion. And so, I mean, I think, if anything, it's finding what works for you and your family and make it work. And even sometimes reinventing family, right? I've heard about these things, is it Friendsgiving? Like, Thanksgiving, but it's just with your friends. Because you can't choose your family, and your family's not always going to be the ideal people that you need to be around for your mental stability. So yeah, like, it's just one of those things. It's like, am I spending the time that I need for me with the people that fill me up, that nourish me, that make me feel like, oh, this holiday was amazing. It was, we had such a beautiful time. All those things, right? And nothing has to be like picture perfect. Let's be serious. But to know that you could walk away from a holiday situation and feel good, that's worth more than anything, right? You don't have to have a lot of people to even make that happen. And I'm realizing that with my family now, like, it's just the three of us, and it has been wonderful. It's been great. Drama, not so much, you know? Because when I say I'm intentional about it, I am intentional. And this is from years and years and years of me just allowing things to happen. And that's the thing too, is like, I had to take ownership of that. It's like, no one's doing this to me. Like, I am allowing this stuff to happen. And I just could not, for the longest, I just couldn't see that that's what it was. I just thought these things were just happening because that's just the way life is. Right? So I just did not, it did not click until like later on in my life. And there was still work that had to be done around that. Like, it wasn't like a, epiphany done and problem solved. It was more of like constantly, like, slowly pulling the layers back and like, oh, like, this, oh, oh, I mean, I wish you well. No harm to be, done to you in any way. And sometimes it's not even that I don't even like these people. It's just, I know in my spirit, you're just not for me. That's okay. I think more of us need to do that. It's been a like I said, it's been a journey for me. It's been a journey that's not always felt so good either. It's not like I have like this, heart of steel or something, and I'm like, boom, done, no, like, and I move on to the next person. It takes a lot for me to really let go of someone that I've been attached to, right? And like I said, it's not, like I said, it's not easy, but I think for me, and maybe this is resonating with someone else as well, for me, it has changed my life drastically. Because also it helps with the whole idea of the codependency that I've experienced my entire life. Like, I didn't realize how codependent I was. I thought codependency was a badge of honor. Like, suffering in silence, or suffering while I'm complaining to someone else, but not to the actual person that I have this codependent relationship with, It's wild. And you don't realize how it holds you back in so many ways. But yeah, the holidays, I'm learning so much. I'm learning a lot. Myself, I want to operate, think, and feel moving forward in my life. Just not, making excuses. You know, just calling it for what it is. Like, Leash, this is it. This is how you've been operating. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And going from there. It's been eye opening. Like I said, it's not been easy, but it has been worth it more than anything. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's like a motorcycle. Listen, total side note, but like how? I mean, for people who ride motorcycles, God bless them. But like, I could not imagine in the snow, because it's snowing here, y'all. I didn't say that to you. But it is snowing here in New York City. How in the world are you on a motorcycle? I would be, first of all, I'd be terrified if there was no snow on the ground. If it's summertime, the best weather possible, I still would be nervous. I mean, everyone's different, everyone's different. But anyway, yeah, so I hope you guys are having a good, start to your holidays. And if you're not, I hear you. I see you. I completely understand. I completely understand. Because for whatever it's worth, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but the point of it is, I didn't, I came from a huge family and we celebrated holidays, when I was a child. We would all go to my grandmother's house and it would be my mom, her siblings, her two sisters, and their kids. And so we're talking about a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people, lots and lots of people. Because in my family alone, there were 6 kids. Then there was the grandkids, and then my cousins, their kids. My aunts, their spouses. So it was just a lot of people, and my grandparents. And a lot of times sometimes it was really great. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes we had some great holidays, and then sometimes it was just like, what is going on? Like, how are we? This is the holiday. How are we having these major blowouts? Like, what is going on, right? And that was something I knew even as a child. I was like, I don't want that for my life. There has to be a way where we can talk things through, right? Like the screaming and the yelling, it has to be a different way. And I would always think that as a kid. But when something's modeled, you think that's the way you're supposed to communicate with people. And so, a lot of holiday interaction, I don't even know if people realize this, or at least for me, I'll say for me, the holiday interactions were how I saw adults a lot of times interact. Because that's when I would see my mom interacting with her siblings, with her mother, with, my cousins, and whoever else was there. And so when you see this type of modeling, you see how they operate and how they communicate, you just assume that's it. And so when you get out into the world and you think that's how you communicate with everyone, and people are looking at you like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's eye-opening, especially if you actually are being mindful of how you are conducting yourselves. It's like, oh, this is not what we're supposed to do. Like, we're supposed to yell and scream and lose our shit, on people when we don't get our way, or whatever that looks like, or if there's some type of conflict, we don't cuss the person all the way out, use all the words possible to just demean them. That's not what you do. It's like, oh, because that's what I grew up with. I mean, full disclosure, loving people. I don't want to take away from the fact that my family, very loving people. There were not but and it's one of those things. Yes, and I'm learning that too. That whole, I don't know if you guys know about that, but it's like you can acknowledge that people have good traits. And most people do, and they have these traits that are just flat out trash. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't take away from the goodness they have. The hope is that you're recognizing that those things within you, and you're creating change, to assist in, being a bit more mindful of how you manage and deal with that part of. And so that was something I really had to like wrap my head around. It's like, one, I had to figure out my communication skills to be, a bit more, I wouldn't even say palatable, in a way that's more constructive than destructive. Still, be firm and, stand on what I believe, but there's a way to do it. And it's like, it's not, unfortunately, the way I learned things when it came to conflict, it was a bit more, rough and abrasive. And I get it. That's another thing, too. It's like, I understand where that, I mean, you're talking about people who have constantly had to defend themselves with everything, literally. And I mean, I grew up in Indiana, If you know anything about Indiana, especially Southern Indiana, it's a little rough around the edges when it comes to the racism. Um, so you're constantly in this mode of trying to prove yourself, defend yourself, let it be known that, I am a person, I'm a human being. And unfortunately, it would then topple over into, you know, your family life. And, there's that. And at the same time, it's like, okay, I understand this now. Like, I understand that this was something that happened, or is still happening. Let's be serious. That happens to black and brown people. Well, I would say black people because I'm black. So, you know, in Indiana. And I know there's brown people there now, but when I was growing up, there was only basically just black and white people. There were a few other people, like there were some Asian people that I grew up around, some other people from different Central American countries, but very few and far between. I mean, literally very few. So I grew up in a pretty racially fueled environment, and when you're constantly being bombarded by that, it's intense. And it's wild. Even though I think about that, it's heartbreaking to know, especially people that have passed on in my family. I wish, and people say your spirit goes on, your energy never, whatever, it never dies. I hope, if there is this whole idea around moving beyond this body, which I feel that there is. I mean, this can't be it. Like, I'm blessed to be alive, but this can't be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys. But anyway, my hope is that those people that were in my life as a child, my mother, my aunts, my grandparents, that whatever they're doing, however they're presenting in terms of their energy, their spirit, whatever, that they have had the opportunity to be transformed. That whatever their spirit is now doing, it's providing blessings and peace and joy. And they did provide that to some degree, but I hope that it's more so than it was before. I really do. I do. So yeah, that's my ramble for the day. And that is the ramble for the day. I am heading now to a little spot where I get my car fixed. Listen, these people are the truth. Hands down, the truth. Because I can roll up there, no appointment needed, and be like, listen, can you fix blah, blah? And they're like, oh, sure. Love them. Love them. If you're in New York City and you need your car fixed, come up to Inwood. It's a gas station. And it's a lot of Dominican men that run this gas station. And they are amazing. They literally hook me up every time. But I will say, like, I think they forgot to put. I got my car serviced the other day, but I think they forgot to put. What do you call it? The windshield wiper fluid. They forgot to add that because I've been trying to like clean my windows because with the snow and all that nastiness, and to no avail. So I'm like, guys, what happened? I mean, things happen. They're always busy. That's another thing too, because people know they are going to get their car taken care of as soon as they walk in. It's amazing. So they're constantly busy, and I'm pretty sure, because this Christmas Eve, I can't imagine them not being busy right now. Oh my God, this cute little doggy. These kids are walking their dog. How cute. So yeah, I'm gonna roll up in here, get this together. Gas gone down a bit. Look at God. Listen, it's another thing too. I noticed, like during the holidays, gas goes down a bit. I guess to help people that traveling, so they can go see their loved ones, which is beautiful. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get this car, get the fluid together here, make sure all that's a go. And then we'll go home and start, preparing for our Christmas Eve, which I'm sure will be a good time. All right, y'all. I hope that, oh no, y'all, side note, the gas is still the same. Womp womp. Anyway, or at least at this space. But I hope you all have a great holiday and enjoy it with people that you love and the people that love you. And like I always say, y'all, let's just keep on keeping on. All right. I love you. And I'll see you next week. Happy holidays. All right. Bye.